Hey. Someone is pissed. Hey guys, how are you? Good. So we're gonna be doing a reading. The energy has been fabulous. Fabulous. So we're gonna do a reading. This is gonna be for my amazing, compelling Scorpio risings. Woo! I know that I can handle that energy. So, I can handle any energy. I just don't want to handle the 3D fritters called Earth right now. And Libra and Tauruses are a full-on shit show. Ha! Ha! Right as I say that, choose your friends wisely. Exactly. Because your friends might just steal your man. Okay, so let's do this. Mer, mer, mer. Mer, mer. Wait a minute. Okay, the tinks. We'll see. So this is going to be for my amazing Scorpio risings. Rejuvenate. Love yourself. Good. We're taking care of ourselves right now. Super, super, super important. So this is going to be for my Scorpio moons. Scorpio risings, as you guys know. Oh, wow. Is that a card flipping up? There we go. Correct your mistakes. Don't worry, I think that was the Taurus Libra. They'll just go in circles. But, here we go. Wheels on the bus go round and round. We're going to be tapping into my Scorpio risings. This is going to get deeper than deep. But I'm a Scorpio moon. It is what I do. Gemini sign, run. Baby, run. Okay. So let's do this. A lot of energy. Switching up and down and turn around and touch the ground. Be the love of service. So right off the bat, I think that's an all-over amazing sign that we need to make sure that we choose our friends wisely. For when we choose our friends wrong, we give people our energy, and sometimes we give people our energy that don't necessarily know how to give us equal. Claim your art. So making sure my Scorpio moons and risings only make sure that we are doing what we need to do to motivate and push ourselves to be able to do what we are really good at. Make necessary sacrifices. And what do you love? Speak up. So when we do what we love, I feel like I'm being yelled at because I've done like 4 or 5 readings that I haven't put up because you guys wouldn't like them because they're calling people out. He says, tell my roommate it's too exhausting anymore just to read for people that can't handle it. Okay, so now we're going to be doing basically speak up, be the love of service, service, service. King of Swords, there you go. Okay, so we're going to be having to, who is that? Princess of Pentacles, of course she's there. Of course. Neat little thing. It's one of the ones that needs to be careful for their friends. It's not their friends, technically, it's their hubby's friends, right? And then their hubby's second wives, third wives, 100 wives. Okay, 6 of Cups, right as I'm saying that. So speak up, speak up, speak up, speak up. Thank you, Spirit. That would be a fool that's not speaking up right off the bat. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles on the bottom. So be the love of service. So in other words, maybe someone's wanting to try to be able to make finances. The Fool is a good card, however. Ace of Wands, be the love of service. So it looks like a fool is going to come in and think that his service essentially is his Sir Dingling. Just politely let them know that there are 100,000 dinglings out there and his is not any different or special. But at the end of the day, a passionate new beginning in a hobby or interest in work, and or a craft, when we actually take all of our sexual stamina, if you want the specific wording, and you actually don't use that energy in other things, and you actually construct yourself where you actually make yourself be able to be celibate for a long period of time, like we're talking more than a couple months, all that energy actually gets fueled when done correctly. And in actually putting it into energy and passion, and the power of manifestation almost tripleizes. So for people that actually are celibate in between relationships, you guys need to keep going with that, because you're actually manifesting ways at a faster rate than almost anyone around you. The reason why this is because when we are choosing to be with someone that we are not attracted to in that way, or we just basically, maybe we sleep with them for money, maybe we sleep with them because they help us, maybe we sleep with them because we're an addict, maybe we sleep with them because we have, enough is never enough and we had childhood wounds and we need it, whatever. That's someone that's never gonna watch. They don't get very far in life, because that's a person that doesn't know how to materialize manifestation of sexuality, basically. There's a whole another concept to support it, but I don't have time for that, unfortunately, period. So really research that if you feel like it. One of my readers talks about it, but I don't know if I'm going to share her personally. But anyways, kind of really think about that. So the people that are in single relationships, for the ones that like doing one night stands, it's different doing a one night stand every now and then. But if you can hold out on a couple months, or even on, I would say a couple months, not a couple weeks. Now, we're not talking about partners that choose not to sleep with their partner. That's completely different. That's just you. That's just you, and that makes no sense. But whatever, okay? We're moving on from that. So when we basically are the fool and we're speaking up about certain things in our life, what we want, need, love, etc., what we want to create, etc., be the care of service. So by actually feeling all your passion when it comes to sexual frustration into what you want to actually create, it evolves into something where you actually become a part of the experience in itself of creating. So in a lot of aspects, you will actually turn around and teach and be able to explain what you're doing, because your mind basically ends up becoming very I feel like I literally see the word and I'm just trying to catch it. I'm just going to move on. Gosh, I'm getting so downloaded right now. Oh my gosh. Someone's ignoring someone. That's all I'm going to say. Like, not alive. Someone's ignoring someone that's trying to talk to someone. Claim your art. In other words, if you feel like you're lacking inspiration, etc., really consider doing this, because just try it or don't, and just keep going in circles. I really don't give a fuck, quite frankly. Claim your art. What card do we have for tarot when it comes to that? King of Wands. There you go. So for the King of Wands, so essentially if you have fire in your moon, because that would be your soul, so your art would be a hobby, so it would be your soul. So let's just say you had a Sagittarius moon, a Leo moon, an Aries moon. You are Sir Ding-a-ling. So what you're essentially doing is putting your dick in things when you're not getting what you want. Well, what you're doing is making sure that you surely don't get what you want, as well as eventually you will get an STD, and then no one will want you. Why? Because of the fact that it is what it is. Most people don't care what they get as long as they end up with you forever. But if you're sticking it in everything, you're not even getting a partner that will stick through with you, as well as you're giving all your energy away where you can't even have an energetic connection sexually with anyone, because quite frankly, you've been shared too much. And to be able to create and or manifest in a way of, I'm forgetting the word? I'm just going to say sexuality, you're not going to be able to create because your energy is everywhere, basically. And when it's everywhere, it's weak amounts of everywhere. So anyone energetically strong isn't going to be able to pick it up. So 5 out of cups, which means, yeah, need we say more. 2 of pentacles in reverse. Well, you juggle things, you juggle women, just like your coins, and that's why your coins are never there. Usually, those are people that end up finding women that have money. Exactly, which still makes sense. Right there, okay? 2 of swords, making a blind choice, do what you love. So you're making a blind choice on what you love. Again, this is another clear indicator that someone's just doing something for a specific reason, just using someone for a specific reason, just best friends with someone for a specific reason, just in a situationship for a specific reason, just. There's always an explanation and or an excuse on why it is what it is and why it just keeps going in circles and being repetitive. Anyways, make necessary sacrifices. When you choose to actually create and make necessary sacrifices, like not have third parties actually tend to your garden and not do the who are you game, you actually will be able to create what you want to create. And or the people around you will be able to create whatever you want to create. I don't think people realize how much no, people don't realize, but it doesn't matter, I guess. Tantric sex. Thank you. What the fuck? It's like I took the brain of a special person or something. And even they're smarter than us, so I don't know what the fuck was going on. Tantric sex. So, as we basically know, that's root chakra sex. If you haven't researched it, you should research it. That is why, for people, that's why, in other words, I am not in open relationships. Why? Because polyamorous and or open relationships in this day and age is not an open relationship. That's a relationship where you basically have your partner and you each just do what the fuck you please and feel like telling each other when you fucking feel like telling each other. Turns into a Jerry Springer shit show, and it's not even this fun, beautiful, open relationship. Ideally, what the reality is when we actually take all of our sexual energy, which stems from our root chakra, because all of our sexual vibes stem from what we've went through. In other words, a lot of people that don't want to have sex ideally will blame it on their traumas. That's not it. It's the fact that you don't want to deal and heal your traumas, so it still impacts you today. But I'll let you use that as an excuse because that shows that you're completely 3D. And I understand and respect that we're all different. Moving on from that, when you actually stay celibate for a certain amount of time, it's kind of like when we are to go and not eat or drink and we're going to fast for a certain amount of things when it comes to manifestation and just purification within our body. It also allows us a sense of control, as well as awareness on how we're feeling, what we're feeling. And so when it does come to the shadow process, you actually can understand your root and your core on a whole nother way of understanding. It also creates all of that energy actually stays within you, and what you tend to somewhat radiate to the world is something that they haven't seen. Why? Because you're very unique compared to most of the world. Celibacy is something that, as we know, the world does not do today. And again, feel free to do whatever you need to do. You can still go and fuck whatever you feel like fucking. You know what I mean? And you're still, who's to say you're not going to be a good, bad, or whatever fuck, you know? But ultimately, there is a complete huge difference. Period. Okay? This is not good. Okay. God, Gosh, some of you guys have snarky fucking attitudes. It makes me want to punch a wall. Or this is your cross watcher. I feel like it's your cross watcher, but I also... You never fucking know, you know? You know? You know? You know what I'm saying? Okay, leave a comment. Should I move to Hawaii or Rome? I'm serious. Leave a comment. Okay, so let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It won't be for a little. I'm going to actually move to somewhere else first. But leave a comment. For those that like to play my games. I know my games are so much nicer than people that whip me with pearls. Or best friends that sleep with their best friends' husbands. So many games. Okay, let's do this. King of Cups. Ooh, friendship just popped out right when I said that. King of Cups reverse. That is ironically awesome. So, Scorpio. Yeah, what are you release? Ooh. Some of you need to get out more and socialize. The sun is reversed. So, oh, the sun is reversed within the Knight of Cups. So, who's not rebirthing? What am I missing? No. Okay. I feel like some of you don't know what you want to do. Like, I don't want to do anger reverse. That's beautiful. Why is anger reverse? That's awesome. Why is anger even showing up, though? Why is anger even showing up? Someone's on their spiritual path. Yeah, okay, that's awesome. So, okay, so you, whoever is a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini. Anger reverse. So, like, my phone dropped in the very beginning of some video, so I knew someone was probably mad about the air and fire video that I put up, which is what it is. Fuck off. I really don't care. I've deleted 4 videos, and if that was the best energy out of 4 videos, I'm not the problem. You are. Just saying. You can yell and blame me for your problems, but that's why we even have a problem to begin with. And yeah, I'm a fucking asshole. So, I just try really hard to be nice. I don't know how I have so many friends. So, it looks like right off the bat, friendship is something Scorpio risings right now, Scorpio moons and risings is what's really important to us. So whether that's something that we're really looking at saying, this is something that's not working out very well for me at this time, this is something that I feel like I can't find right now at this time, or whatever that may be, okay? But right now, that is something that we're going to be focusing on, okay? Okay. The Knight of Cups in reverse. So, I feel like we feel as though in our past when it has come to friendships and relationships, they didn't really work out the way that we wanted them to. Whether it was people that were wearing false masks, so it was people that would just come in and out when they wanted to, wishy-washy. We're not dealing with that anymore. We basically have rebirth over those kind of individuals and people. The people will stay the same. That's who they are. They're kind of like these people that just kind of get in the way of our life. That's fine. It's actually, there is a war on earth and good and bad energy. The negative energy are using those people to inflict annoyances essentially onto us, which are actually going to try to beat us down and or to win against us and or to tire us out, where it's going to eventually happen. Now, I do want to throw this out there for whoever this may resonate with. Whoever is using a Ouija board needs to stop. You've already opened the door to something, and something has attached itself to you, and it is demonic. So, I repeat, close and put the fuck away a Ouija board. For those that do not know what you're doing, because you don't know what you're doing, that is not the other world. That is the other world to a demonic world. You cannot see dead humans that have not been able to pass over in a Ouija board. That is pure demonic. So if you think that a demonic community of shit you don't even comprehend or even gather in your brain, I don't care how much lucid dreaming and understanding you think you know what you're doing, you have no idea. What I see is the dead. That is not a human. So if you think a non-human demonic thing is going to be on your side, you are fucking insane, and you should just give up at life in general. Because you are the most ignorant asshole, and not only that, you're putting yourself in danger. Especially the one with the kids. Because that kid is going to have a demonic thing attached to it for the rest of its life because of you, the mother. Joanna. Going on. Friendship, knights, and kings. So, the reason there's no kings. So, friendship and knights. The reason we have a knight and a cup basically going in and out, in and out, in and out, is they just felt like they wanted to do it on their timing. At the end of the day, we're realizing, well, that's ironic, because when they come back, this is what you get to say. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you handled your timing. This is my timing, and I want nothing to do with you again. Right? Right. Moving on from that. Period. Like, one of my friends, he is someone that, he would just be like, oh, it's fine, and get over it. And I will agree with him, just so he doesn't question me. Period. Because it's no point. What I'm going to do with my friendships is what I'm going to do. Me personally, if you say you're dead to me or you dug your own grave, fuck off. I don't care how much you miss me. I'm never talking to you again. Period. You're poison. Look at you. That's why nothing around you is staying. These are people that just want to get rid of. Like, get rid of me, who is the only one there for you, and then get rid of your niece, because it's the only one there for you. It's the same kind of thing. It's like, I don't want to deal with anything, because it's just too hard. Those are the people that there's no point of having them in your life, because as soon as shit gets tough, it's going to be in and out like a revolving door. Okay? So now we're going to be moving on to basically the rebirth. With the rebirth, we have the sun reverse. So people that don't know how Scorpio risings to rebirth, it is around our job to show them. Now, here's the kicker. We show them through our example. People are not necessarily going to, I hate when I get a headache, not necessarily going to understand how to be able to still do the thing we do if we don't do it. Now, there's a difference between a Scorpio who thinks that they know how to rebirth and a Scorpio who knows how to rebirth. In other words, again, I repeat to all Scorpios, a Scorpio sun is not a moon and a rising, period. And these, I swear, suns are the ones that fuck it up the most for all of us. And it's very frustrating. But sometimes it's not the case. Like, sometimes they have Scorpio, in their sun, moon, and rising, or in two. Then it's, but I've noticed the most fuck-ups are always in suns, Scorpio suns, or when they say they're cuspers. No, that's an excuse for I can't make up my mind, so I kind of just say that I'm like both. However, there is a difference between, this is also what fire signs get to deal with, the dragons, okay? There is a difference between burning the whole city on fire and walking through the door and not having anyone left. Because at the end of the day, guess what, Scorpio? That essentially is someone that doesn't know how to rebirth. If you burn everything on fire in all your relationships, and it's just another one, or all relationships take time, or, it was just time for a new endeavor. Good for you, because I swear you will fall on your ass and you will need that relationship. I swear, I already know it. I've experienced it. I'm not a fool. Why is that going to happen? It's very easy. You are either going to be completely alone, and hopefully the person that you befriended on this new endeavor isn't going to be a very stubborn person, or you're going to have to kiss ass for a long time. Why? Because Scorpios have a tendency, when they don't know what they're doing, the ones that always run away from me and or people, okay? Where, look at your life. I know a Scorpio that lost her husband. She misses him dearly, but guess what? She ran away from him in the relationship. Then something happens and he's no longer here with us. Now all of a sudden, she to this day will always talk about him. Well, you ran away from him. Then he passed away and you feel sad because you can't see him again. Same kind of thing. So what is she going to do? Now it's a friendship. She runs away. It's like, when are you going to look at yourself in the mirror and realize you run away from things that you still love out of punishment to them because you're throwing a tantrum? That is not a rebirth. Period. That is not growth. That is you choosing to be. This is what I'm going to say to that. On your birthday, when the person that you spent crying over because they weren't there to celebrate your birthday with you, that's who you choose to be friends with, as opposed to someone else or other people that actually pay attention to you in your life and want to be a part of it. But then you don't want to have to explain the circumstance or the situation, and or there's a difference. A healthy Scorpio should be able to sit and have a conversation with someone. Period. It shouldn't be like, well, if it didn't go my way, or if I was sneaky in this, it's going to blow up in my face. That's not the way Scorpios work when they're healthy. A healthy Scorpio should be able to sit and have a very depthy, dark, deep conversation that's understood on both sides. And the way to rebirth through is to find and to realize what patterns and faults you have that keep repeating themselves, that's affecting every relationship. Now, if you're one of those people that compartmentalizes friends and family as separate, which I consider anyways, you're in a whole nother caliber of worms, because you see things through tradition. You don't see things through your heart and soul, quite frankly. Because many of us aren't as blessed as you, where we have those things. And who's to say whether this was your sister that was born out of your mom, that is a person that you need close to you in your life. Or a brother, you know what I mean? That would be, that is so, actually it's sick. It's actually really sick, because then it's like, well, what if someone's adopted? And anyways, going on. This is the unhealthy balance that Scorpios always tend to kind of, it's like, what's that gopher where you want to hit the damn thing on the fucking head? Because it's never a clear line what healthy rebirthing is. When a Scorpio goes deep within their soul to figure out what it is that's actually triggering them to respond in these repeated ways of shutting doors, closing out, cornering themselves, defensive mode, whatever it is that we need to do to basically sting or combat, or, you know, when a scorpion's backing up and it's like, doo-doo, like that little, kind of like a rattlesnake in a certain, you know what I mean? It's getting ready to attack or protect itself. We always protect ourselves based on our traumas and our triggers. Now, the thing is that Scorpios can go really deep. But when they go really deep, most of them stay there. And those are the ones that stay in the same repeated pattern every fucking day of their life. Or someone leaves them, right? Whether it's someone that leaves them here on earth, or whether it's someone that leaves them, period. Okay? And then they end up talking about that person that they chose to leave because they were the healthy one for the rest of their damn life. Tell me that is a healthy situationship. It's not. Even the dead that you could talk to today, the ones on the other side that haven't transitioned yet, they'll even say that is not healthy. Why is that not healthy? Because you shouldn't have ended up in that situation where you weren't able to rebirth and find the closure you needed to begin with. Period. Second of all, you're not going to be able to find closure in any relationship if you cannot go deep and be able to transmute and transcend your feelings and another person's feelings into a mutual understanding that two do not have to be the same, but two deserve to be heard and understood. Period. Scorpio, with you having the gift that you have to rebirth, it does not mean that you're not going to feel the same pain, anger, and hurt as the world and everyone around you. It does not mean that since you have the strength to be able to just drop people like a fucking fly and fly on your way to the next poo, if that's what you're doing, which if you're dropping best friends because you're moving on to bigger and better places, okay, have fun with that. Because all I see you doing is literally dropping like a turd and then connecting to the turds. Why? Because what you're doing basically is, and essentially, many Scorpios choose what they want. They jump in for their prey, as I call it. They do what they want. They find out maybe there's some sort of outburst or someone disagrees or there's something that happens. And instead of sitting and having a rebirth and having a soul and soul understanding and or transcending into understanding a different point of view to then strengthen how you communicate your point of view to be able to allow two people to be able to transcend together. Instead, what we're doing is we're just out alphaing to then turn around and be, quite frankly, emasculated long term. Why? Because you're the one that's repetitively doing these similar and same patterns every day of your life, thinking, I'm just moving on and letting go, but you're not, because you've already done that, and you're still thinking about that person, and that's why we're reading tarot, because we weren't ready to begin with to move on. Instead, we just said, well, I have to move on because it is what it is. No, you're taking advantage of a gift that you have that allows clarity and understanding. To be a healthy Scorpio, it is important to agree to disagree. To understand that as a Scorpio, we know what is right and wrong, but we also know what we experience is not what Billy Bob III is going to experience. And we know that if we get rid of everyone that's important and the only people we have around us are the ones that accept us, the same ones that make us cry on our birthdays because they're not there, or they're there as late as they fucking feel like it. Those are now the new people that we're around, and those are our new crew. Well, good. You're accumulating the same kind of flaky people as you are becoming. And that's probably why we're around them, is because they make us feel like, you know, I don't have to do this and this and this and this. Why? Because we feel trapped and confined to the choices that we already made because we chose not to communicate in a healthy way, and now we don't know how to, and our natural response as a Scorpion is just to back up and stab, you know, if we need to on attack mode, instead of understanding at the end of the day that we could kill any and everything, but sometimes it's important just to say, okay, I'm prepared if I need to, but I'm gonna see and check out and calm the fuck down and learn from the experience, which also made me not want to kill so fast. So over time, you become more self-disciplined and aware. And then you're going to be able to start holding on to and strengthenizing, and I'm not going to say that word, universe, but it is true. Inevitably, you'll get more what you want or be heard and accepted within a way of people will actually start watching you rebirth because you will do it in such a poised way. We could be the Scorpions that just are kind of like dragons, where they burn the whole fucking town on top fire, and good for you. Then you're sitting in a tower all by yourself, not even your family around, and there's treasure galore. But what are you going to do with all this treasures? Lay on it all by yourself for the rest of your life. Or you could be the Scorpion that's going to burn, you know what I mean? Or attack the whole community and whatnot. And then what's going to happen? The people that you now are friends with are going to drop you like it's hot. You're going to need help one day because you're going to be in a really fucked up situation based on your chosen circumstances. And you won't have the people you need to, because those people will never authentically trust you because you've already showed them that you're someone different than you are. Okay? Okay. Okay. So that being said, okay, who you have around you is all based on your flow. Fucking A, I fucking hate my hair. You need to focus on your flow. Your flow is your flow is your flow. So your flow is going to be all about how healthy your mind's frame is, okay? The other thing is, who do you center yourself around? Do you find that it's only all single women that you're friends with? Do you ever realize that? Did you ever find and see that it's all women that want to listen to you and be like, oh, I'm sorry, and this and this and this, instead of the ones that are like, oh, that fucking sucks, but I could see, you know what I mean, so-and-so might be this and this and this. Then that's going to say a lot about your character. Let's just say I found out something, right? Let's just talk about this. For instance, there's someone that I personally am attracted to and actually like. And I am not going to go there. Why? Because it's my best friend's best friend. Period. Yeah, I could easily just be scorpionic and just go there, have that, and do what I want to do. And guess what? My life, well, knowing me, because I know how to rebirth through it, I could easily just deal with the karma that comes with, as well as technically I cured some karma this lifetime already. So the possibilities would be endless. But I look at them as there's no possibilities. Why? Because I respect my friend and care about her so much. Because I know relationships take time, effort, period. That at the end, because of the fact that we became family in a sense, no individual that is a masculine, that can't even comprehend the soul that a friendship that had that much time, effort, and individual gathering, they will never be able to complete that part of my heart. And as someone that was stupid enough to believe someone else, an employer I had, who stole thousands of fucking dollars from me, thousands, thank God I have the fucking proof I have. That was a best friend. Now that's someone that I will drop like a fucking fat kid on chocolate cake and like a fucking fly to shit. Why? Because that is a fly to shit. She's a moocher. The people that still work for her have no idea that she's fucking up their taxes and they're not going to get unemployment. They're not actually, has nothing to do with unemployment. They're not going to have Social Security. That's not my problem. I tried throwing it out there when they want to be 150 years old and find out, or 50 years old and retire. They'll figure that out for themselves. Thank God my family is going to be able to help me. Okay? Those are the people that most Scorpions on a low vibe. They'll take that person. Why? Because that person will be like, oh, don't even worry about it. Just do what you want to do. This and this and that. It's like hell. Here's a cookie. They're going to give you so many options. Why? Because they want to distract you from what's happening in their actual life. Because they're liars. So what do? Wow, they're so chill. They're so laid back. Like, they're so easy. They support me. No, they support you so they can manipulate you. Your actual friends are going to stand up and be like, I get your point, but look at this point. I get your point, but maybe this. I get your point, but how about how I feel? There's a conversation. There's a relationship. There's someone that's going to challenge you and make you think about something other than your ignorant ass self. That's a friend. Not someone that's like, whatever, you know, everything's a joke, etc., etc. Okay. Okay. So it looks like some of you have a situation where you're going on an adventure. Some of you could be receiving some information where someone didn't feel like someone was gentle. Well, I really hope this is going to be a gentle person, or this is going to be you and someone maybe is going to say, I don't feel like you're gentle enough, or whatever. Who knows? I don't know. Something to do with gentleness, okay? Now, here's the kicker. Just because you're a Scorpio doesn't mean you need to be gentle. Period. But the way you handle your problems says everything to do with your character. Period. So, in other words, if you are a single girl and you choose to always have flaky people, from my understanding, in and out of your life because you were flaky, from my understanding, you are who you are. Period. If you think that you don't need anyone other than yourself, and you don't need to be gentle and receive people with a certain amount of weight, or understand that we need to receive our communication and give our communication in a gentle way, it's reversed, meaning it's not happening. Meaning people are not receiving our information in a gentle way. Okay? Now, that's understandable sometimes, or a lot of times. Depends on the situation. Depends on what we're talking about. For me, personally, that makes sense when it comes to tarot. Why? Because if I was to do a reading for someone one-on-one, and I've done this, and I have people that see this, the energy is completely different. Because I'm able to connect individually with the person and find out exactly what's going on. When you're connecting with someone energetically, energy is fluid in everything. We're not even going in there. As I say, relevant, all swing theory. Okay? It is going through an aspect of mass, in a sense, okay? Where if there's a little mass and there's a big mass, right? And there's energy all around these masses, right? All around, everywhere. The bigger the mass, the more the energy can get manipulated, and or the more disturbed the energy is going to get. Therefore, the more like different types of energies that are going to kind of combust around it. As opposed to if it's smaller, there could still be a lot of different energies, but it has a smaller amount of depth, thank you, Spirit, that it has to go around. So the message doesn't have to be so if I do a reading, it has a smaller amount of depth. That's more individualized. When I'm reading on a mass, it's taking a collective concept and it's trying to fuse it into one story. I say one bread story. Like bread is in not eating bread, but yeah. Moving on. Okay? It's very different. Because this is an energetic thing. So this is going to work off what you think, what I think, what all of the watchers, cross watchers think, what all the people is that they're essentially around energetically. You know what I mean? And essentially, possibly, the energies that we've also picked up on the way. So that's why I tend to read more channeling as well as oracle, because it can find me more the pivot points to read instead of sometimes doing tarot where I'm talking about how many different people are in this story and it's a soap opera and we don't understand the pure point and depth of what we're supposed to be understanding and learning. Okay? When we are gentle on the way that we connect with people in a way of understanding, like, I don't agree with you, but I understand that by me doing this and not saying anything because I was uncomfortable, or because I didn't expect, or because I was shocked that it even happened, or because, you know what I mean, I'm ashamed that, you know, or I can't believe, you know, whatever the emotion is that we were feeling during the circumstance, made me respond this way because it triggered me, because as I realized, I've kind of always been triggered like that in my life. And because of the way that I've been triggered in my life, on the way that I've ran away from things in my life, It made me feel like I was dealing with someone head on, right? Because maybe the other person's more like abrasive in your face. This is my opinion. Yeah! You know? And Scorpion's not going to be like that. Well, they would be like that to their child. Moving on. Okay? Now, if you think about it this way, sometimes our friends, best friends, people we have around us, this and this and this. The best way to rebirth is to have people that you choose to trust around you. Now, do you have to trust them? Not necessarily. Because as a Scorpion, I don't know if we ever fully trust anyone, quite frankly. Okay? But you need to be able to look at yourself in order to rebirth. And this is how you'll know you'll be able to rebirth in a healthy, constructive way and say, of course, I'm so sick of this happening right now. I, as a person, know I make wise choices, although I fail. I always learn from them. It has allowed me to be here on these groups of people that I have in my life that I choose to, or this person in my life. And although this person is the polar opposite of me, I can learn so much about myself on why I respond the way they don't respond, and the way that they respond the way that I don't respond. And I realized that, yeah, we're both extremists. They're willing to fight and be stubborn as fuck, and I'm willing to run for the fucking hills and bounce like a fucking bouncy ball, instead of us both realizing that we can actually become stronger individuals if we met in the middle. And said, look, I get what you're doing. I don't understand it. It makes me mad. It makes me frustrated, etc., 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 etc. And the other person is like, I get this, but I need to do this for me. You know what I mean? Where can we find the middle of it? This and this and this. And then you sit and talk it out. Hash it out. Not just like blow up Jerry Springer style. I'm moving on. That's a Scorpio not rebirthing at all. That's a Scorpio that goes in circles and you don't know what you're doing in life. And you're going to keep losing people. And you'll be very lucky because most likely if you're nice, they'll take you back. And then you'll just spend your life not knowing how to rebirth and not doing your job on helping others. But that's a different story in itself. Okay? That's someone that usually holds on to a relationship their whole entire life, and that relationship became a part of them. And then they live this kind of like life that's delusional fantasy. It's kind of like a fuse between both people and things. Okay? So, that was a mouthful. Alice, do you want to say anything? Or do we need anything else for tarot? Is there anything else for my Scorpio risings? Nine of Swords, like I said, someone's thinking about the past hurt. Exactly. Hangman in reverse. Someone's not meditating. Okay, so everything that I said is correct, right? This is total proof. This is awesome. I love being so correct. Yeah, this is not right. Yeah, you are not right. Yeah, for there's a specific one. We got the Sun reverse and Judgment reverse. So the Judgment is not clear, it's not right, it's not okay, etc., etc. Really pick and choose your battles right now, because if you're having a battle, Spirit doesn't think you're winning it. Okay? For those that just ran away, like where you tried to have a healthy talk, and I mean try. We're not talking about the ones that are like, I tried, you know, and they didn't. They basically were like, well, you don't agree with me, so that's not a healthy conversation. You need to not talk for a couple of days until you figure out how to talk with the person in that case. And if the person's just already confrontational, like like I had to deal with the Aquarius, fucking ridiculous, so dramatic. You dug your own grave, and then find out they miss me. It's like, fuck you. Yeah, you miss me. Well, I'm already in a grave, so what are you gonna do now? You know, and if that's how you care about people, no wonder the relationships in your life never stick, or they never have depth, because you get rid of people as fast as you get rid of fucking socks. You know, really. And if we're Scorpios, quite frankly, and we're getting rid of friendships that fast, what kind of Scorpios are we? Because we're supposed to be really deep. So, are we getting so deep that the only thing that matters in life is us and what we've gone through in our life? Because if so, you're not a functioning Scorpio. And you're not someone that knows how to rebirth. Period. Because rebirth is all about going deep within understanding why people do what they do and helping and joining each other on the way. Not saying selfishly defending yourself all the time and taking from the only person or people that actually give a fuck about you. And some of you are going to be like, well, that's my family, not my best friend. Well, exactly. That's why your family is a POS, because you're not learning. You're choosing to have your family, who's fucked up, nothing spiritually like you, be the people that you give to, when the spiritual person or people you have in your life, your friends or your chosen family, are what? You're supposed to just sit there and take it because your family deserves it? Your family that gives you nothing? Okay. Evaluate, my Scorpios. Not everyone is going to resonate with this, obviously, or a lot of you will resonate with this, but you've gone through the phase where you learned this lesson. Perfect. There are obviously Scorpios out there that are not. I love you all. Mwah. See you later. Bye.